The night sky above the human colony was calm, stars shining like silver eyes in the dark. No one expected danger. No one expected fear. The colony slept, safe behind metal walls, until the silence broke with a roar. A burning light tore across the sky, louder than thunder, brighter than fire. It was not a meteor. It was something alive, something massive. A ship, alien and broken, came crashing down, splitting the clouds and shaking the earth. The sound was deafening. The ground trembled. Alarms screamed inside the colony. People ran out of their homes, pointing, shouting. Some thought it was war. Some thought it was the end of the world. The ship hit the forest outside the walls, exploding into blue fire that hissed and spread across the ground like water. The smell of smoke filled the air, sharp and bitter. The guards shouted for everyone to stay inside, to lock the gates. They raised their rifles, scanning the dark tree line. But in the chaos, one man did not hide. His name was Drake. Drake was no soldier. He was a mechanic, a quiet man who fixed machines more than he spoke to people. But something inside him stirred when he heard it. A sound that froze his blood. A voice, weak and broken, calling for help. No one else seemed to hear it, only him. Through the noise, through the fire, the voice reached him. It was not human, it was strange, almost like music. But it was begging, without thinking. Drake grabbed a flashlight and ran. He ignored the guard shouting. He ignored the people screaming his name. His boots hit the dirt as he slipped through the half-open gate and into the burning forest. The wreck of the ship was twisted metal, glowing hot. Sparks rained down. Strange blue liquid leaked from shattered pipes. The air hummed like electricity. Every step closer made his skin crawl. But then he saw her, pinned under a broken piece of the ship, lay a figure. Her skin was pale silver, glowing faintly. Her hair shimmered like strands of light, her eyes half open, glowing dimly with blue fire. She was alien, and she was dying. Drake's heart pounded. His mind told him to run, but his body did not listen. He pushed against the burning wreckage, metal scorching his hands, but he did not stop. Finally, the piece shifted, and with all his strength, he pulled her free. The alien woman gasped. Her body shook with pain. Strange wounds cut across her chest, glowing as if alive. Drake knelt beside her, tearing off his jacket to press against them. But the wounds hissed, burning the fabric like acid. He flinched but refused to stop. He pressed harder, desperate. Her skin was cold, too cold. Suddenly, she grabbed his wrist with surprising strength. Her glowing eyes locked on his, her lips moved, a whisper, almost broken. Blood. Drake stared, not understanding. Then he saw her hands trembling toward his. Her sharp nails cut his skin by accident. A drop of his blood fell onto her wound. The effect was instant. The glowing wounds hissed louder, then closed like melting ice. The light spread across her body, her chest rising as if breath returned. Her eyes shot open, burning bright. Drake pulled back in shock. His hand stung from the cut, but he could not look away. The alien woman stared at her own body. Her mouth shaking in disbelief, she whispered again, but this time her voice was strong, clear. Impossible. Human blood. Drake did not understand. He only saw her wounds fading, her strength returning, but her expression was not only relief, it was fear. The forest around them cracked, branches snapped, shapes moved in the shadows. Drake turned his light but saw nothing. Only the burning trees swaying. The alien woman tried to stand but stumbled. He caught her before she fell. Her body was light, fragile, but there was a strange energy pulsing from her skin now, like she carried thunder inside. Drake's mind screamed questions. Who was she? Why was she here? What did his blood just do? But before he could ask, she looked at him with glowing, fearful eyes. Her whisper sent chills through him. What are you? Drake froze. The fire hissed behind them. The shadows in the trees grew closer. Something out there was watching, waiting. The crash was only the beginning, and his human blood had just awakened something the universe had long forgotten. The forest burned around them, blue flames licking the broken ship. Smoke curled into the sky like dark fingers. Drake held the alien woman close, her silver skin glowing faintly under the firelight. She trembled in his arms as if something inside her body was fighting to break free. Her glowing eyes snapped open again. She gasped for air, sharp and painful. Then her hands clutched her chest as if her heart was about to explode. Blue light spread across her veins, crawling under her skin like lightning. Drake panicked. "Stay still, you're hurt," he whispered. But she shook her head, her voice cracking like shattered glass. Not hurt. Changing, her body arched. The ground beneath her humming as strange energy spilled out. Trees shook, dust rose. Metal fragments of the wreck lifted into the air and hovered for seconds before falling. Drake stumbled back, shielding his face. His blood had done this. His human blood was inside her now, and it was changing her. She fell back to the ground, weak. Drake rushed to her side. He pressed his hand against her shoulder. "You're safe. I'm here." But her eyes glared into his, fierce and afraid. "Safe? No, you don't understand. They will come for you. They will come for me." Drake frowned. "Who?" Her breathing steadied. She looked at the wreck, at the strange symbols glowing faintly on the twisted walls. "My people, or what remains of them," she whispered. "They hunt power. And now, you are power." Drake blinked. "Me? I only tried to help you." Her silver fingers brushed the cut on his hand. The blood still fresh there made her flinch. "Help?" she murmured. "Your blood did more than help. It awakened something that should never exist. Something they thought was lost forever." She struggled to sit up. Drake helped her, careful of her trembling form. Her name came as a whisper, almost afraid of itself. "Solara," she said. "That is my name." Drake nodded slowly. "I'm Drake." His voice was steady, though his heart was racing. Solara studied him, as if memorizing every detail of his face. "Drake," she repeated, softly. "You're kind. You are not supposed to carry this spark, and yet, inside you it lives." The ground vibrated. A faint hum grew louder, not from the wreck, but from the dark sky above. Drake looked up. His stomach dropped. A small drone, black and silent, hovered above the burning trees. A red light blinked as it scanned them. Solara's eyes widened. "No," she hissed. "They know. They are watching." Drake grabbed a broken piece of metal from the wreck and hurled it at the drone. It shattered against the machine. Sparks burst, and the drone spun out, crashing into the dirt with a hiss, but the damage was done. Whoever sent it now knew exactly where they were. Solara pressed her hand against her chest. Blue energy flickered across her body. She shook her head. "We must move. They will come. For your blood, they will drain you until nothing remains." Drake clenched his fists. Fear gripped him, but he forced himself to stand tall. "Then we run." Solara staggered as she tried to rise. Drake caught her. Her skin felt warmer now, pulsing like it carried 2 heartbeats instead of 1. She leaned on him, her voice heavy with dread. "You don't understand. Once they taste your blood, they will never stop. You are no longer just human. You are the key they lost." They stumbled through the forest, branches breaking under their weight. Behind them, the wreck burned like a beacon in the night. Drake's mind spun with questions. Why his blood? Why her? What did all of this mean? But there was no time for answers. Only the rush of survival. They reached a clearing where the ground was wet and muddy. Solara collapsed to her knees. Her hands dug into the soil, glowing veins spreading from her palms into the earth. The ground shook. Water rose from hidden springs, extinguishing some of the flames chasing them. Drake stared, stunned. Solara gasped, pulling her hands free. "I can't control it," she whispered. "Your blood inside me is unlocking things I was never meant to touch." Drake crouched beside her, placing a steadying hand on her shoulder. "Then we'll figure it out, together," he said firmly. For the first time, her glowing eyes softened, but her words were bitter. "Together? You don't know what that means. You are now part of something much bigger, much darker. If they find us, they will tear your world apart just to get to you." The forest around them went silent, too silent. Drake held his breath. A low growl echoed between the trees. Not animal, but mechanical. Red lights flickered in the darkness. More drones, more hunters, closing in. Solara's body glowed faintly as she rose again, her strength returning, her eyes locked on Drake's. "Run when I tell you," she whispered. Drake shook his head. "No, I'm not leaving you." She almost smiled, a flash of pain and hope in her face. "Stubborn human," she whispered. "Then fight beside me." The shadows moved, red lights growing brighter. The hunters stepped from the trees, tall and armored, carrying weapons that hummed with deadly energy. Their leader's voice echoed, metallic and cruel. "So it is true. The human carries the spark." Drake's chest tightened. Solara stood tall, though her body shook from the unstable energy within her. She whispered to Drake, "This is only the beginning." The hunters raised their weapons. The night burned. The hunt had begun. The hunters moved closer, their armor shining red under the firelight. Weapons hummed with power. Drake's heart pounded. He had no rifle, no blade, only his will to stand beside Solara. Solara raised her trembling hands. Her silver skin glowed, blue veins of light spreading across her body like cracks in glass. She screamed, the sound sharp and unnatural. The ground shook, air rippled. The hunters staggered back for a moment. Then it happened. Symbols, glowing and alien, appeared across her skin. They shifted like living tattoos, crawling over her arms, her neck, her face. Drake gasped. Solara collapsed to her knees, clutching her chest as if something inside her was trying to tear its way out. Drake rushed to her side. "Solara!" he shouted. His hands grabbed her shoulders, but her skin burned with energy. His touch left sparks dancing in the air. Solara's eyes shot open, glowing brighter than ever. For a second, she looked at him, but he saw no fear there, only hunger. It was as if another presence stared through her. The hunters raised their weapons again. Their leader shouted, "Take them! Alive if possible! The human's blood belongs to us!" Before they could fire, Solara screamed again. This time her voice was not her own. It was deeper, layered, as if many voices spoke at once. A wave of blue light blasted out, knocking the hunters off their feet. Trees snapped, earth cracked. Drake was thrown backward but managed to crawl up again, staring in shock. Solara rose, slowly, but she was different now. Her hair shimmered brighter, her eyes burned with twin flames. Her voice shook the air. "I feel it, life itself." She lifted her hand and one of the hunters froze mid-air. His armor bent inward, crushed by invisible force. The sound of breaking metal echoed in the forest. The hunter screamed once, then fell silent. Drake froze, both terrified and amazed. Solara looked at her own hands, trembling. "This is not me," she whispered. "This is something inside me, something your blood has awakened." The other hunters hesitated, even their leader stepped back. They whispered in their language, fearful. Solara turned her head slowly toward them. Her glowing tattoos pulsed. She raised both hands and the ground split, glowing cracks spreading toward the hunters. They fired in panic. Beams of red light shot through the air. Drake ducked, sparks and dirt exploded around him. Solara's body took the blasts, but instead of falling, she absorbed them. The light entered her skin and burst out again, tearing the hunters apart with their own energy. Drake stared, breathless. She was unstoppable, but she was also unraveling. Her body shook violently. Her glowing eyes flickered. He rushed forward, grabbing her arm. "Stop! You're killing yourself." Solara turned to him, her face full of pain. "I can't. It's too strong." The last surviving hunter fled into the forest, his voice echoing as he called to others. "The Forbidden One lives, the spark has awakened." Drake's stomach twisted. Forbidden One. Spark. What did it all mean? Solara fell into his arms, her glowing tattoos fading slightly. Her breaths were shallow, her voice cracked. "Your blood. It woke something lost. Something my people sealed away long ago." Drake held her tightly. "Then we'll find a way to stop it." Her head shook weakly. "You don't understand this power. It was never meant to exist. It is dangerous, unstoppable. It will destroy me." And maybe you too. Drake clenched his jaw. His mind screamed in fear, but his voice was steady. Then we control it. Together. A faint smile flickered on her lips. Together, she whispered. Then her body went limp for a moment. Drake checked her pulse, relief flooding him when he felt it, weak but alive. He looked around. The forest was a graveyard now. Broken trees, shattered machines, and the corpses of alien hunters. But this was only the beginning. He knew more would come, stronger. He lifted Solara onto his back and began walking toward the edge of the forest, every step heavy, every breath a battle. His mind filled with questions. Why him? Why his blood? Why now? Above, the sky rumbled. A massive ship hovered in the distance, dark and silent. Its shadow fell across the burning forest like a warning. Solara stirred weakly, whispering into his ear. They will not stop, Drake. They will hunt us until the end because you are the key they lost, the spark they feared, and the blood they need. Drake looked up at the giant ship. Fear tried to break him, but he held it down. His voice was low but firm. Then let them come. Solara's glowing eyes opened once more, staring into the sky with dread. She whispered, You don't know what you've awakened. The forest burned, the hunters screamed in the distance, and above them, the shadow of war grew larger. The awakening had only just begun. The night was no longer silent. The forest groaned under smoke and broken trees. Fires spread, glowing like veins of the earth. Drake pushed forward with Solara. On his back, his legs burned, his lungs ached, but he refused to stop. Behind them, the crash site still burned blue, but far above, the shadow of the massive ship lingered like a predator circling its prey. Drake glanced up, his jaw tight. He knew it belonged to the hunters. He knew they were watching, waiting. Solara stirred weakly, her voice shaking. They won't stop now, Drake. You killed their soldiers. You lit a fire in the dark, and now they will bring the storm. Drake adjusted her weight, his breath heavy. Then let them come, he muttered, but his eyes betrayed his fear. The forest suddenly erupted with screams, not human screams, but harsh and metallic. The hunters had arrived. Their shapes emerged through the smoke, tall, armored figures, their glowing red eyes scanning the ruins. They spread out, weapons raised. Drake ducked behind a fallen tree. Solara slid from his back, weak, but still glowing faintly. Her voice was a whisper. They want you alive. They want your blood more than they want me. Drake's heart pounded. He clenched his fists. Then they'll have to kill me first. Solara's glowing eyes softened. You don't understand, Drake. They can't kill you. Not yet. To them, you are the key. They will break you before they spill you. The hunters closed in. There ain't no. Leader raised his hand. A signal. At once they fired. Red beams cut through the trees, burning wood, tearing earth. Drake rolled behind another log, clutching Solara close. Sparks rained down like fireflies. Solara gasped, her body shaking. My powers. I can't control them. If I try, I might lose myself completely. Drake looked at her, desperate. Then lose yourself. Just save us. Her glowing tattoos flickered, fading in and out like dying light. She shook her head. If I unleash it, I may not return. You may not even recognize me, and I fear you will not survive standing near me. Drake's eyes narrowed, his voice sharp. Then I'll take the risk. The hunters stepped closer. The leader's voice boomed through a speaker in his helmet. Humans, surrender. Your blood is ours. We will not harm you if you obey. Drake barked a bitter laugh. That's what you said to them. He gestured at the bodies they left behind. In the ruins, the hunters paused, anger flashing through their movements. Suddenly, the ground beneath them began to hum. A low vibration. Solara was on her knees, her hands pressed into the soil. Her voice trembled. I can't hold it back anymore. The hunters aimed, preparing to fire. But the ground cracked. Light burst upward like a geyser, throwing them into the air. Trees split, Roots tore free, and a wave of blue energy exploded outward. Drake shielded his face as the blast lit up the night. The hunters were thrown back, some crushed by falling trees, others torn apart by the energy. The leader staggered but remained standing, his armor smoking. Solara screamed. The glowing tattoos on her body burned brighter. Her eyes turned white. Her voice was no longer her own. It echoed, layered, carrying the weight of something ancient. The spark is free. The seal is broken. Drake grabbed her shoulders, shaking her. Solara, fight it. Stay with me. She looked at him, her face twisted in pain. It's not me, Drake. It's what your blood has awakened, the hunter leader charged. His blade hummed with deadly energy. He swung at Drake. Drake rolled, barely escaping. The blade cut through the ground, burning a glowing scar into the earth. Drake grabbed a fallen branch, nothing compared to the hunter's weapon. But he held it tight. He shouted, "You'll have to go through me first." The hunter laughed, a low mechanical growl. "Then bleed for me, human." He lunged, but before the blade struck, Solara rose, her entire body glowing like a star. She screamed, unleashing a storm of blue fire that swallowed the hunter whole. His armor cracked, shattered, and he collapsed in ash. The forest fell silent. Only the crackle of flames remained. Drake fell to his knees beside her. Solara collapsed again, her body barely holding together. Drake lifted her head gently. "You saved us." She shook weakly. "No, I doomed us. They will know, they will. Feel it," I called to something older than them. Older than me, and now it knows where we are. Drake frowned. "What are you talking about?" Her eyes glowed faintly, tears of light running down her cheeks. "In the ruins beneath this world, something sleeps, something that was sealed away because it craved blood like yours. And now, it has heard us." As if answering her words, the ground beneath them shook. A voice, deep and ancient, echoed from the forest floor. "At last, the spark returns. At last, the blood awakens me." Drake froze. Solara clutched his arm, her face pale with dread. "We must not stay here, Drake. We must run, for the true hunt has only begun." Night air grew colder. The fires dimmed as if afraid. And far away, deeper in the ruins, two red eyes opened in the dark. The ground shook as if something enormous moved beneath the soil. Drake froze, his heart hammering in his chest. Solara clung to his arm, her glowing eyes wide with fear. The night air grew heavy, each breath thick like smoke. From deep below, a voice rumbled again, low and ancient. "The spark has returned, the blood has awakened me." Drake swallowed hard, his voice cracked. "What is that?" Solara's body trembled, her glowing tattoos pulsed weakly. "Not what? Who, a guardian? Older than my people? Older than yours? It was buried for a reason, and now your blood has called to it." The forest floor split open, earth crumbled into a deep pit. From the darkness rose a colossal figure, half stone, half machine. Its body towered above the trees, glowing symbols carved into its chest. Its eyes blazed with red fire. It looked down at them, and then at Drake, the carrier of the spark. The voice boomed, shaking the ground. "At last I see. You." Drake staggered back, clutching Solara. "Me? I'm just a man." The guardian bent low, its massive face like a mask of stone. "Not a man. You are the vessel. You are the blood that binds worlds." Solara gasped. "It cannot be. That power was lost eons ago, sealed away." The guardian's hand slammed into the ground beside them, sending a shockwave that knocked Drake off his feet. It was never lost. It was waiting for human blood to awaken it. Drake scrambled to his feet. "Why me? Why my blood?" the guardian's voice thundered. "Long ago your kind was touched by us, shaped by us. Some of your bloodlines carried the spark, but time buried the truth. You are the last of it." Solara's face paled. "Drake, this is worse than I feared. Your blood is not only healing, it carries something ancient, something forbidden." The guardian leaned closer, its fiery eyes fixed on Drake. "The awakening cannot be stopped. The spark inside you will grow and it will consume you." Drake clenched his fists, anger fighting his fear. "Then I'll fight it. The Guardian's laugh was like thunder, splitting the sky. Foolish human, you cannot fight what you are. You are the key and the lock. Through you, the forgotten armies will rise again, Solara shouted, her voice sharp. No! They were sealed for a reason. You cannot let them return. The Guardian turned its gaze on her. And yet you carry their mark. The blood of the human mixed with yours. You are no longer one of them, nor one of us. You are the bridge. Solara's body shook. She dropped to her knees, clutching her chest as the glowing tattoos burned hotter. Her scream echoed through the forest. Drake rushed to her side. Solara! The Guardian raised its hand, a beam of red light shooting toward them. Drake rolled with Solara in his arms, the beam exploding the ground where they had stood. Fire and dust filled the air. Drake coughed, shielding her. His voice was raw. I don't care what you are. I won't let you take her. I won't let you take me. He looked around desperately. His eyes fell on the shattered wreckage of the alien ship. Pieces of metal, sparking wires, broken weapons. Drake's mind raced. He grabbed a shard of metal glowing faintly with alien energy and faced the towering Guardian. The giant laughed again. A shard against a god? Foolish. Drake charged anyway. His heart screamed with fear, but his body moved with fury. He slashed at the Guardian's leg. Sparks flew. The giant stumbled slightly. For a moment, Drake felt hope. Then the Guardian raised its massive hand, swatting Drake like a fly. He flew backward, slamming into a tree. Pain shot through his body. His vision blurred. But he forced himself to rise. Solara stood now, her body glowing brighter than ever. Her tattoos blazed, her eyes white with power. She spread her hands wide, shouting words in a language Drake could not understand. The ground shook again, this time not from the Guardian but from Solara herself. Energy surged from her body, wrapping around the giant like chains of light. The Guardian roared, struggling. Impossible, you cannot bind me. Solara screamed louder, her body shaking, blood dripping from her nose. The chains tightened. Cracks spread across the Guardian's stone armor. Flames burst from its chest. Drake stumbled toward her. Solara, stop, it's killing you. She turned to him, her glowing face twisted in pain. If I stop, it will kill us both, the Guardian roared one last time. You cannot stop what has begun. Human blood has broken the seal. The armies will rise. Then its body shattered, into a storm of fire and stone collapsing into the pit it had risen from. The forest fell silent. Only the crackle of flames remained. Solara collapsed into Drake's arms, weak and trembling. Her voice a whisper. We stopped it. But only for now. It will not be the last. More will come, drawn to you, to your blood. Drake held her tightly, his jaw set. Then we'll fight them, every last one. Solara looked at him, her glowing eyes full of sorrow. Drake, don't, you see? It's not just them. The power inside you, it will grow. It will destroy you, or it will destroy everything around you. Drake looked into the burning forest, his chest heavy. He did not answer. But deep inside, he knew the truth. The Guardian was only the beginning. The real war was yet to come. The forest smoldered, ash falling like gray snow. Drake sat against a cracked tree, his chest aching, his body bruised from the Guardian's strike. Solara lay beside him, her breathing weak but steady. Her glowing tattoos dimmed to faint lines, as if resting after the storm. Drake stared at the pit where the Guardian had fallen. His mind swirled with the words it left behind. The spark has returned. The armies will rise. He clenched his fists, anger battling fear. Why me? He whispered. Why my blood? Solara opened her eyes, her voice fragile. Because you are the last thread of a chain that was never meant to exist long ago. My people experimented on humans, searching for perfection. They failed. But they left traces in your bloodline, dormant, waiting. You are proof that humans are more than they seem. Drake shook his head. So I'm a mistake? Solara looked at him, her silver face soft. No, Drake, you are not a mistake. You are the secret they feared most. You are the key they swore to erase. Yet here you stand alive. Before Drake could answer, the faint crackle of a communicator, broke the silence. He froze. Solara's glowing eyes narrowed. They turned their heads toward the trees. A squad of human soldiers emerged from the smoke, armored, rifles raised. At their front stood Commander Reeve, a tall man with sharp eyes. His voice boomed, "Drake! You're alive!" Drake blinked, shocked. "Reeve? You made it here?" Reeve smirked, his rifle lowering. "We tracked the crash. Thought we'd find bodies. Instead, we find you with her." His gaze lingered on Solara with cold disdain. Drake helped Solara stand, though she leaned heavily on him. "She's not our enemy, Reeve. She saved my life." Reeve's smirk widened. "Oh, I'm sure she did. But you have no idea what you're carrying, do you? We intercepted their signals. The aliens want your blood. They say it's the key to power to entire armies. Tell me, Drake, what did you give them?" Drake's jaw tightened. "Nothing. I bled saving her, that's all." Reeve's eyes hardened. He motioned with his hand. The soldiers fanned out, surrounding them, rifles aimed. Solara tensed, blue light flickering faintly under her skin. Drake stepped in front of her, his voice sharp. "Reeve, put the guns down. This isn't the way." Reeve's expression turned cold. "This is exactly the way. Do you know what alien technology is worth? Do you know what your blood is worth, Drake? Enough to buy the future of humanity, enough to make me a king." Drake's stomach dropped. "You sold us out." Reeve's grin was bitter. "Not sold, bargained. The hunters get what they want, and I get the weapons to make sure Earth never kneels again. Your blood is just the payment." Solara's eyes flared, her weak voice trembling with fury. "You fool, do you know what their machines will do with his blood? They will not share power with you, they will enslave you, just as they enslaved others before." Reeve laughed. "And I should believe the alien?" "No. I believe in steel, in fire, and in myself." He raised his hand. "Take them." The soldiers moved forward. Drake's mind raced. He could not fight armed men with a shard of metal. Solara's power was unstable. If she unleashed it now, she might kill them all, including him. He whispered quickly, "Stay calm. Let me think." The soldiers grabbed Drake, forcing him to his knees. Two more pulled Solara's arms back, but even weakened, she glowed, energy crackling around her. The soldiers cursed, struggling to hold her. Reeve stepped closer, pulling out a small case. Inside were syringes and strange alien devices. His voice low, cruel. "Your blood, Drake. Once we take it, once we feed it into their machines, we'll reshape the stars themselves." Drake spat at his boots. "You're insane." Reeve leaned closer, whispering, "Maybe, but history will remember me," Solara shouted, her voice shaking the trees. "No, Drake's blood is not power. It is poison. It awakens things that cannot be controlled." Reeve chuckled. "Then let them awaken. I'll command them." The soldiers dragged Drake toward the case. He struggled, but they were too many. One soldier rolled up his sleeve, pressing his arm down. A needle glinted in the firelight. Solara screamed, her body flared with blue fire. The soldiers holding her flew backward, burned by energy. She stumbled free, collapsing to her knees. But her eyes blazed, her voice roared, "You will not take him." Reeve stepped back, raising his rifle. "Then I'll kill you first." Drake twisted against his captors, rage boiling in his chest. His voice thundered, "Reeve, don't do this." The commander smirked. "Oh, I already have." From the sky above, the massive alien ship descended lower. Its shadow covered the forest. Its engines howled like thunder. Red beams of light scanned the clearing, locking on Drake. Solara's eyes widened in horror. "It's too late." "They're here," Reeve laughed. "Perfect timing." He raised his hand toward the sky, signaling them. "I've got your key right here." The alien ship roared. Hunters began to descend in streams of red light, weapons glowing. Drake's heart sank. He realized the truth. Reeve had delivered him straight into their hands. Solara pulled herself up beside him, her body shaking but her eyes burning. "She whispered, "No matter what happens, don't give them your blood, promise me." Drake stared at her, soldiers tightening their grip, hunters closing in. His voice was hoarse. "I promise." The night lit up with fire as betrayal turned to battle, and Drake understood. This was no longer about survival. It was about choice. His blood could either save or end them all. The night shook with fire and thunder. The alien ship hovered, low, its engines screaming across the sky. Red beams poured down like rivers of light, bringing hunters to the ground. Their armor glowed. Their weapons hummed. The forest turned into a battlefield. Drake knelt in the dirt, soldiers gripping his arms. Commander Reeves stood proud, shouting above the chaos, "Here! I have him! The human with the blood you seek!" His voice echoed with greed. Hunters turned toward him, their glowing eyes fixed on Drake. Solara staggered to her feet, her silver skin glowing faintly. She spread her arms, her voice a sharp cry. "No, you cannot have him!" Energy flickered around her, unstable, burning. The hunters hissed, forming a circle. One raised a device that pulsed with dark light. "The blood carrier must be drained. His essence belongs to us." Drake struggled, fury in his chest. "I am not your vessel." He broke free from one soldier, elbowing him down, but another slammed a rifle into his back, forcing him down again. Reeve grinned. "Struggle all you want, Drake. In the end, your blood is just fuel, and fuel burns for those who control it." Solara screamed. Her tattoos blazed, her body split with light. Hunters fired, but she absorbed the blasts, sending the energy back in wild arcs. Soldiers ducked as the ground exploded. Trees shattered. Fire spread. Reeve cursed. "Restrain her!" But no one dared. She was no longer just alien. She was something new, something terrifying. Drake's eyes locked on her. He saw pain in her face, the cost of using this unstable power. He shouted, "Solara, don't lose yourself." She looked at him, her glowing eyes softening. Her voice carried sorrow. "Drake, it is you who must decide, not me." The hunters advanced, their leader's voice cold and sharp. "Human, your blood is the key to awakening the armies. Without you, nothing rises. With you, all worlds fall." Drake's chest tightened, his mind swirled. The Guardian's words echoed again. "The spark will consume you. The armies will rise." He looked at Solara, her body cracking with light, fighting to stay whole. He looked at Reeve, his betrayal shining in his greedy smile. He looked at the hunters, eyes burning with hunger. The truth struck him. His blood was the weapon, and his blood was the curse. If they took it, the universe would burn. If he kept it, it would destroy him and Solara. A decision formed in his heart, sharp and heavy. Drake stood tall, forcing the soldiers off him. His voice roared over the battlefield. "You will never have my blood." Reeve shouted, "Stop him!" But it was too late. Drake grabbed the alien device from the fallen soldier, its core glowing. He pressed it against his chest, right over his heart. Solara screamed, "No, don't do it!" But Drake's eyes burned with resolve. His voice shook, but stayed firm. "This ends with me." He drove the device deep, the machine pierced him, his blood flowed into it. Glowing brighter than fire, the ground shook violently. Hunters stumbled, soldiers screamed. The ship above howled as its engines faltered. Solara rushed to him, her hands shaking. "Drake, stop. You'll die." Drake's face twisted with pain. His blood burned like fire, his voice weak but steady. "If I die, they get nothing. If I die, you live." The device pulsed, releasing a wave of blinding blue light. Hunters vaporized where they stood, their bodies turning to ash. The ship, above cracked flames bursting from its hull, Reeve fell to his knees screaming, "No, my deal, my future!" Before the blast swallowed him too. Solara shielded her eyes, her body glowing as Drake's blood poured into her through the light. Energy fused with her, binding them forever. When the storm faded, silence fell. The alien ship was gone, reduced to burning fragments raining from the sky. The hunters were no more. The soldiers lay scattered, broken by the blast, and in the center, Drake knelt, his chest glowing faintly, his breath shallow, his face pale. Solara crawled to him, holding him in her arms, her glowing eyes filled with tears of light. "Drake, you saved us, but at what cost?" Drake's lips curved into the smallest smile, his voice barely a whisper. At least, you'll live. Solara shook her head, her tears glowing as they fell on his face. No, I will not live without you. Your blood is in me now. Your life is part of mine. If you die, I am not whole. Drake's eyes closed slowly. His last words were soft. Then, remember me. His body went still. The glow faded from his skin. But Solara felt something inside her. Not just power, not just light. She felt his presence alive in her veins, bound forever. She stood slowly, holding him against her chest. The battlefield around her was silent. The night sky stretched above, endless and cold. She looked up, her voice trembling but strong. The universe will remember the human who gave everything. The stars flickered above as if listening. And in that moment, a new story was born. Of a human whose blood awakened an alien life. Of a sacrifice that saved more than one world. Of a bond that would never be broken. The forgotten god was gone, the hunters destroyed, the betrayers silenced. But Solara knew the truth. This was not the end. It was only the beginning. For she now carried his spark within her, and the universe would one day feel its fire.